Welcome to Snowmobile Sessions Live on YouTube and your favorite podcast platforms. It's the #1 destination to learn about snowmobiling, network with other sledders, and have an awesome time doing it. We'll meet other snowmobilers that share your passion and show your fan photos along the way. Snowmobile Sessions Live. Enjoy the ride.
This episode of Snowmobile Sessions Live is brought to you by Energy Power Sports. They're Oakville's full-line BRP dealer with sales and service to all BRP models and so much more. Energy Power Sports always has the fun in store with a wide selection of clothing, parts, and accessories for all your power sports passions. Make Energy Power Sports your source for Can-Am off-road, ATV, and side-by-sides. Can-Am on-road Riker and Spider, including the sporty F3S. Sea-Doo watercraft and Switch pontoon boats. And Alumacraft fishing boats powered by Mercury Marine. Put yourself on a Manitou pontoon or a Widescape stand-up snowmobile. Energy Power Sports is the home for Lynx and Ski-Doo snowmobiles for the entire family. Do you feel the energy? Energy Power Sports, 879 Cranberry Court, Oakville, Ontario, or online, energypowersports.ca. Welcome back for another year, guys. I see the chat is lively right now. We're going to see who's in here. Masser, he said, "Oh, the joys of being back," and the Pointsky followed him right afterwards, saying, "Cheers, brother. Feels good." I got Drew here for a short time. He's got to head off to work, but
the whole setup.
He just thought he'd come in and say hi to everybody. Corey Brock's in the house, the Blue Wrench. He's been moderating the night again, and Wisco Sledheads. Who else is in here? I seen Ron Kestalut. How you doing, Ron? Away we go. Olive Garden Gnome. He's been chatting with me. He says, "Hope everyone's finally the season is upon us." This one makes a crappy Monday better. Wisco's wife, Sled Chick 94, says so. And the Motorsport channel, Mike Galitz is in the house. What's up, guys? He says. Bill McCleary's in. Good to be back. Was on 2 wheels today, but can't wait to be on the trails. So more people are rolling in right now as the doors open and the bouncers are kicking people out for being unruly, and away we go. But we have Josh Fuller here from Sledheads for Kids. Sorry about that.
That's all right.
And how you doing, Josh?
I'm good. I want to first of all thank you for the invite. This is awesome. This is a fantastic. I know I've sat back and watched many of these with my son, so it's actually pretty exciting to be on here.
That's cool. I'm glad you're making such kind of short notice. We were just texting last week, and it was like, "Well, what are you doing Monday?" I think I'll kick it off on Monday. I wasn't even sure when I was going to start it because life's pretty chaotic right now. As you can imagine,
you're in the midst of a move, right? So,
well, I'm trying to sell, but that's that's another story. We need another 2-hour podcast to figure that one out. But yeah, it's turned things, and we're busy at work and everything, so it's pretty crazy. But yeah, I just also want to say, save the date on your calendar. Next week is Energy Power Sports Open House. It starts on the 28th. It goes to November 2nd, which is Saturday. And we will be there on November 2nd. Corey's going to be there. There's lots of special guests will be on site at Energy Power Sports in Oakville. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram and look at all the specials and announcements they have coming out leading up to that. Another announcement is a new sponsor on board for the podcast, and that's Koala Pieces Inc.
Woo!
And you'll learn more about this deal in the coming weeks. Hopefully next week we'll have everything ready to go. But I did load up a couple of overlays here, but I don't see them. No, I didn't actually put them in yet. But yeah, so we're excited about that, and I want to thank Koala Pieces for the support. As well as Fast Track. and we'll play the fast track ad shortly, and away we go. But those that don't know, vanilla isn't for everyone. You deserve better. Have a taste of our specialized carbides at Qualipieces. Go to qualipieces.com, check out their new website, and you'll see exactly what they mean by custom tailoring the carbides to not only your sled, but the way you ride and the way that you want your snowmobile to ride as well. So yeah, it's a great product. As you know, we've been using the roller skis for the last season, and the carbides for the end of 2 seasons ago and all of last year. Drew ran them, and great product. We're proud to put our endorsement on them as well.
Qualipieces Trek carbides on the 2018 Gen 4. Amazing. We put the 8-inch long ones on it. It's like having power steering on the trails, and that's not just marketing BS. That's a real difference. I'm running, everyone talks about multiple different switching out your skis and making changes like that, but I'm on just the stock pilots that came on him that year. He had them on his Gen 4, the Pilot X, who had the Adventure carbides in a 6 and an 8-inch, which were cool too. Those were good. And Corey Brock runs 8-inch Treks on his MXZ 129 and loves them. So, yeah, great product. All right, guys, I got to jump already. Good luck on your first show. Yeah. Well, nice to see you too. Nice to meet you.
We'll see you next. Drew will be on next week.
Yeah, next week I'll be here in full.
Yeah, so. If he can't get it off of work, he says he's quitting. So
take care, fellas.
We'll hold him to that, right? So no, it's been a crazy time. We had a great summer with Mike Galitz. I got to thank him again for putting Drew on the KX 125. You'll learn more about that next week as well. And yeah, some of the best times we had this summer were with Galitz. He took us riding in his area early in the year to kick off the summer, and then we invited him to the Vintage Muskoka Enduro and MX race in Port Sydney, and he had a blast. And we all came out strong on that weekend, as you can probably attest from his videos that he's been posting on his channel. So pretty cool. Yeah. So anyway, let's get right into you, Josh. Enough about us. Yeah. How did Sledheads for Kids get started? What's it about?
So going back, this would be 2 years ago. I was actually watching Rudi Fowler on the 1,000-mile challenge. I thought, what a fantastic way to engage and to help others, right? And do what you do best. You love riding. So I actually reached out to Rudi 2 years ago, and I said, I'd love to do something like that here. Now, unfortunately, here in Ontario, we just wouldn't be able to get away with it. Even in my full-time job, working for a municipality, I understand the torts law, 1% liable, 100% responsible. I had to put my work hat on. We really wouldn't be able to do anything like that within the municipalities or with the OFSC because of the speed limits. So thought outside the box. I'm like, well, what can we do to help raise funds for Amici Charity Camp? So we came up with, hey, we're going to try to beat the existing men's record for the most miles ridden on a snowmobile in a 24-hour period team. Now, it's funny because the guys that actually hold that record are from an hour and a half just north of me here, in Muskoka. So, yeah. So, I reached out and I went through Guinness and, applied to break that record. So we put a team together, and unfortunately, Midland Harbor just didn't pan over. So we'll go for it again next year. So that was last year. So we get back to it. We're going, okay, this is going to be the year. As well as I did, it was just terrible. I mean, it was so bad that the icebreaker didn't even come into Midland Bay last year to break up
that's
the
right.
Yeah, leaders, right. Yeah. So there was just no ice out there. So on top of that, we thought, well, let's make it interesting. Let's try to beat the existing record for the world's largest snowmobile parade, all in support of Amiki itself as well. So we applied for that. We're going to hold that in Midland. We postponed it because of the weather last year, and we're giving her a good go this year. So that's our Brapapalooza. So, the Whitecourt Trailblazers in Whitecourt, Alberta hold the record of 1,047 snowmobiles. So we need to beat
right
that.
on.
So that's where,
Yeah, and that's a smart thing to do, because you can't rely on the weather. So you need some things like that to kind of like the plan B, right?
Right. Yeah. Well,
and I mean, I'm familiar with the 1,000-mile challenge, and there is mixed feelings on that. It's the same as doing, like, say, the Rap Tour in a day. Yeah, it's possible, but you may ruffle some feathers. And you got some big name sponsors, which we'll talk about. Ultimax Belts being one of them, and there's a few other big brands that have come on board. And you want to make sure you're respecting their brand as well.
Oh, absolutely. It's huge. So I think, for me, it was more about the engagement, and I know the struggles that the snowmobile clubs are under too, and the stresses they have, right? I mean, they're all volunteers, and I'm thankful for every single person that goes out there and runs the groomer, or clears back brush, sign installations, all that kind of stuff. So part of this Brapapalooza, I felt like it was that we also gave back to the snowmobile clubs, because they do so many fundraisers to try to keep up with their growing demand and their operating costs. So that was another big thing for me too, is like, everyone, we all just sit back and enjoy the trails, but do you offer that couple hours a week, or a couple hours a season to make a difference, right? So it's huge.
Yeah, for sure. How many people are in your organization? Like, as far as the riders, I know your son's a big part of this thing.
Yeah.
How many people total are behind the scenes?
So we've got 14 people, and we're looking, once we get going into the events, we're always looking for more volunteers just to help, right? So, when it comes to the snowmobile parade, that's going to be a big one, right? So we've sort of set up that we have to keep track of everything a certain way to please Guinness, so that when we submit, we're actually, you have to submit according to what they want, right? So it has to be identical. They want the numbers, the time to the left, the last sled to come in. I mean, the list just goes on and on. Like, it's just crazy, but it's fun. I enjoy it, so it keeps me busy.
Very, very cool.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Did you go to that one? Is St. Mary's or Stratford the club that holds the world record for the snowmobiles, or did they lose that?
They lost it. So I think they came in just over 900 of the 1,047 that needs. So Whitecourt, Alberta, the Trailblazers in Whitecourt, it was 1,047 snowmobiles. So in order for us to beat it here in Ontario, and so I think it's imperative that we all sort of come together, and we need to beat this. We need to blow this out of the water. We need to beat that number. So 1,048 would be fantastic. We beat it, but I mean, I'd like to see 1,500 plus, right? Why?
Oh yeah, yeah. Are you doing like a pre-registration thing?
Yes.
So okay, so then you want to make sure you have 2,000, so that the people that say, "Oh yeah, I'll be there," and then they decide they're going to go to Quebec riding or something instead, right, then at least your butt's covered. So
the pre-registration just went out on our Facebook today, and then I've got to work with the gentleman for our website so that we can put the link on there too. I know we're sort of redoing our website. But we just posted it today, just sort of the pre-registration of it. And once again, all the funds that are gained from that is being split through Amiki, and we're teaming up with the Georgian Bay Snow Riders and the Snow Voyagers of Barrie, right?
Cool.
So
cool.
Yeah. So all those funds is helping those clubs and sending Amiki, kids to summer camps. You were saying that you have an event down at Energy on November 2nd, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're holding a barbecue actually November 2nd at St. Ange in Barrie.
Okay, cool.
It's sort of a kickoff. Yeah, it's a kickoff with Climb Climb being one of our sponsors. So they've said, hey, why don't you hold a big barbecue, and St. Ange selling their product. I said, well, let's do it. Let's get her done.
But everybody's going to be down at the Energy Power Sports open house. So wow, I'm sorry I had to ruin your.
I did split the day up. Split the day up. Go down, run back. What are we going to do, right?
I'll be at Energy. All right. Yeah. No, but that's good. You'll have they all have their own different crowds, and there's lots of open houses at different dealers that day. So so it's they'll have their own crowd that come in and away you go. So
I was honestly looking online saying, like, I don't see anything for that weekend. And trying to coordinate that with St. Ange, like Jessica and her team there are just fantastic people too. Like, just, and DJ and everyone from Climb, they're just absolutely like just good people. And they, it was so nice of them to offer up to have a barbecue to kick this off, right? For a great season.
Yeah.
Roving,
that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I think everybody's really excited about this year, and it seems that everyone's saying it can't be worse than last year, because it really put a damper on things. But we'll see. We're the pulse of the situation here. So as you get into those registrations for those events you're talking about, make sure you keep me informed, and I can always throw it out to the gang weekly, kind of thing. Like don't forget to come to the world record attempt for most sleds in one location, blah blah blah. So I think that's cool.
What we're gonna do is as we hit every 100, we're gonna post that, right? So we're gonna keep, so everyone can keep engaged, and really, so if we come up with this astronomical number, and like I said, hopefully, for the amount of people that come, we can beat that record. I mean, how cool is that, right? So how cool is it that we're going to hold that here in Ontario, right? I love my friends out, and I love them to death. But hey, you've had it for too long. It's time to we need to beat it.
I like it. How much for Amiki? Can you talk a bit more about the camp, what it is, and what's the age groups, and how did you get involved in it?
So I reached out to Amiki because I was trying to find, undertaking that to send kids to summer camps from low-income housing or low-income families. That's a big undertaking. And not that I wouldn't do it, but I looked out for, who's out there that does that work already, right? So who can we team up with? So, I went on the old Google search there, and I was going through, and then I saw we're already Sledheads for kids. And I saw this Canoe Heads. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. So I click on that link, and it's Amiki, and they already got that. So they have Canoe Heads, they have Gear Heads because they're doing a bike thing. And then now they have Sled Heads, right? So it's like, oh, this is the match made in heaven. So, I reached out to them. They were, thankful, very thankful for what we're doing. And work with them. And so what they do is they work with 47 different camps right across the province of Ontario. Now, not saying that not one day that we won't want to expand, but it ranges from, ages of 9 to 16 kind of thing. It's more of an overnight camp. But it's funny because I was talking to the team thinking, there's a lot of younger kids out there that aren't able to get to summer camp, but they're too young to go to overnight camp. So what do we do about, helping some of these younger kids go to day camps? So we've started reaching out to some of the recreational departments, the municipalities here in the province, and, saying, hey, what can we do? I can't give you an exact number of what we're doing because it's all based on what we fundraise and stuff like that. And, so wherever we can, we'd like to take some of that and help some of those younger kids too, with the younger families, right, for day camps.
Very cool. So it's not just one camp. They actually pick kids and send them probably to the camp that's best suits that child. Is it?
Yeah.
Very cool.
So I mean, there's different camps for different kids. So. Like I said, a lot of the overnight camps are fantastic. And it, what I like about it, like I was fortunate enough to be able to go to summer camp as a kid, right? But I knew there was a lot of kids that weren't able to, right?
Right.
So, you know, that sort of bothers me. And it's sort of like, okay, we need to do something, because that's what intrigued me about Rudi's thing down the 1,000-mile challenge. I mean, that's what intrigued me. I'm like, this is cool. He's not just doing it just to do 1,000 miles. He's doing this for a cause, which is, you know, fantastic, right? So that's where it stemmed from, and building this relationship with Amiki is wonderful. Like, they sent me an email there not too long ago, you know, thanking, you know, we were part of a $225,000 raise last year. That wasn't just us, but through all the different gearheads, canoe heads, and sled heads and stuff like that. So it's nice to see that, right?
Very cool. Do you have a goal that you try and achieve each year for donations?
You know what? Just because the last 2 winters were so terrible that we couldn't get our events off the ground with a big go, I would love, honestly, my goal is $100,000 this year.
Wow, that's great.
That's my goal. You know, so
Yeah.
I'm going to be out there. You know, that's why it's so important to have these events. You know, I would like to say $100,000 in total that we fundraise, and to help Amiki and help you know, some of the clubs that we've teamed up with, to say, you know, we're going to try to help you guys out too. You know, we know you have, you know, clubhouses that you need to repair and all that kind of stuff, right? So whatever we can do to help, you know, we'll help. Whatever.
Yeah, that's great. That's a great opinion to have and to keep going. I love how flexible you are. And when the times are tough, like last winter, what do? You put them on an ATV. You put your son on an ATV just a couple weeks ago. Right. and raise money for that. And I know we got pictures coming up of that, but do you want to talk about that?
Yeah. So it was funny because early February, we were skeptical that this event was going to take off for Jackson, right, on the sled. So we were actually in Barrie, and we were driving down just off Dunlop Street, and Jackson's like, what are all those people lined up out there? And I'm like, that's actually the food bank, buddy. And for my son to go quiet for a 10-minute, 15-minute period, that, you know, something's bothering him or something's wrong, right? Because usually he just talks like his dad, I guess, right? So
the apple don't fall
that's right,
from
yeah.
the tree.
So he looks over at me. He's like, well, you know, we were talking about doing it on the ATV. And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, well, what if we do the event on the ATV, but we dedicate it to the food banks? Like, I think it's a fantastic idea. What, like, right on that. I'm down with that. That's great. So February 9th, you know, that was a couple weeks before Jackson's event on the snowmobile. I applied to Guinness. I'm going to start the process because they take forever. Honest, like it's a nightmare. So I submitted on February 9th. I knew that there was no record that I could find for a youth to do it. So I went in, applied for it, and they sort of give you okay, this is what you need to do. You need to have a videotape. You need GPS. You need photos. You need it videotaped. You need handwritten documentation, but also has to match your GPS units. You have to have sign-offs from affidavits from people, right? You can't be family members that do all the accumulating numbers and all that stuff. So we knew the structure that we needed to do the event. Now it was a matter of finding the venue to do it. So we reached out to Otis Park in Aurelia, and Chad and their team up there were like, bring it. Fantastic. So it's a whole half-mile track, and just go do what you're going to do. And it was wonderful. So
it
really, he did well. He did well. He did very well.
Yeah, I know. And what was the final number on that? Did you say?
Yep. So Jackson, in the 24-hour period, remember, so you're given 24 hours to do whatever you can do, right? So we have to document all his fuel stops, how many liters of fuel he took, like everything. And so we did all that. And in that 24-hour period, he rode for 20 and a half hours in that 24-hour block. So he came out with 741.2 kilometers he did in that 24-hour period. Mind you, the Sunday before the event, Jackson decides he's, going to go outside and play some pickleball or something out with his sister. And what does he do? He rolls his ankle in a pothole on our road. And I'm like, oh, are you kidding? So he's like, oh, it's hurting. So we thought maybe he just sprained it or something like that. My wife calls me on the Monday morning and she's like, his foot is massive. Like his ankle, his foot is massive. So I'm like, well, I guess we got to take him to the hospital. I mean, we had to get him checked out. Sure as it, get there. The doctor does, they do the x-rays. They come back into the room and go, you got 3 fractures in your foot.
Oh, no.
This is all a week before the event. I'm like, really? Like, talk about weather. We can't get snow. We can't get ice. We finally get this one down. And what's he do? So I told him for the rest of the week, like, just sit there. Don't do anything. Like, I will bring you your food. I will bring you your drink. So yeah. So he did a great job though. It was awesome.
That's great. Dad almost had to sub in for him.
I would have. I don't know if I was how long. I probably would have slept, but no. You know what? Honest to God, he did. Sometimes I got to remember he's 13 because he doesn't act like a 13-year-old. I mean,
no.
like he's sitting there and he's had conversations. He's had dinners with the guys from Timken and Ultimax and Ryan at CNA when we're out in heydays and stuff like that. And they're just like, I can't believe this guy, he's 13 years old. Like, he just,
Yeah.
Good.
That's awesome. Yeah, you got to be proud of him,
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He's a good kid.
And he's hanging around. You want to bring him on to introduce him to the gang?
Here. He's, you going to come over and say hi, Jack?
Sure.
Hey.
How you doing, big guy?
Good, you?
Good. Congratulations on the ATV run. And that was a tough go. I heard you had a good nap though during it.
Oh yes, that helped me a lot.
Yeah, I don't think he would have got through. Like, I know when he came in for the one fuel, and I actually had the camera going, and Tyler was getting the fuel and stuff ready to fuel him up, and I'm like, how you doing? And he's like, everything hurts, like everything, like I'm just, and I can see it in his eyes. And I'm always like, come on, buddy, you can do it. Pull up your pants, you can do it. You'll work through it, you'll be fine. But then I put my dad hat on and I was like, okay, I gotta, this is my son. And the number one priority is his safety, right? So at that point, I'm like, okay, we're going to shut it off. You go lay down in the truck for a bit. And I'm not kidding you. He got in the truck there, shut the door, and he was out. I mean, out. So
yeah. Hey, even the best racers do that, Doesn't matter. You Baja 500, they're napping during the race, and it'll rejuvenate you as the ride goes on. How long have you been riding ATVs?
This is my first ATV.
this is
I've been wanting one since I was like 6, but we finally got the chance to get one, and I took that chance right away.
I've always been a sled guy, right? I've never been an ATV guy. So I was never really, Yeah,
it's a different animal for sure. I mean, they're not meant to ride for 24 hours though, right? I think I'd rather ride a snowmobile for 24 hours than an ATV. What do you guys think? Would you see yourselves on a snowmobile for 24 hours or an ATV? Mike Galitz, you can say dirt bike for 24 hours. And I don't know, like, I just think it would be a hard thing, even for me. I think it would take some training and some, you're on an oval track. What was it, like a mile, or how long was the track?
Half a mile.
half mile track.
half a mile. So you're doing 1,000. Like if you want to do 500, you're doing miles. You're doing 1,000 laps on that thing.
Right. So
you got to be going bonkers. Every corner looks the same, right?
927 laps he did.
Wow. Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, it was. You didn't realize it until like he started, and then like 45, 50 seconds later, he's going by you again. And then 50 seconds later, he's going by you again. And then, you know, he crank it up. And I think his best lap was 44 seconds. And then, you know, he went to like a minute a lap where you could sort of see the lights at the backside of the track, just creeping along. He was just, I hear the horn on the ATV. I don't know if he was trying to.
It was after the nap, and we heard coyotes the coyotes going off because there's a little bit of forest. I did not know there was a subdivision behind there. I did not know that. I didn't see any lights coming from behind that forest. It was just a thin forest, and I thought it was a massive forest. So I was honking my horn so I don't hit a coyote or something like that.
But I heard this beeping. I'm like, what's he doing over there? He's in there in the back straightaway, just honk, 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 honk. So it was fun. It was quite the adventure. I mean, there's a lot of work that goes into it too, right? So
I bet.
Yeah, we gathered a lot of food. It was fantastic. Actually, you're gonna be picking up a load of food tomorrow from Jackson's school. They have like half a trailer load, half of one of our snowmobile trailers load of food to go to the Wasaga food bank. So it's really nice. So we're picking up tomorrow. And then I got a bunch that was dropped off there. And then My Works gathered a bunch of food, and we got to take that over to Georgian Bay Food Network. So, and we're actually like constantly right up until the end of November, we've said like, let's just keep going with the food donations. And, people want to, donate a bit of money, donate it right to the food banks, like bring food. We'll come pick it up if you want us to. Right. So it's good.
Yep. Yeah. Very cool.
So.
Very cool. Lepoinski says that the verdict's out. It's Sled is what they'd ride for 24 hours. Right. Mike Gleet says dirt bike is 5 hours is way too much. And Ron Kaslut agrees. He says snowmobile, Masser, Sled's 100%. Mike Leeds does attest it would be better on a sled than a dirt bike for sure. We all train TVs. Out of everything you ride, Sled's the most safe and comfortable. And Mike says 10 minutes on the quad. He wants to get off of it. So Jackson, you did amazing.
Thank you.
You did amazing.
Yeah,
so,
I did.
How old are you and what grade are you in? Like what?
I'm 13 and I'm in grade 8.
Right on. That's perfect. Yeah. So, and your school is very supportive of you by the sound of it. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's great.
Really
what makes you want to do this? Yeah. Jackson, what makes you want to do this kind of stuff?
Well, honestly, it just makes me feel good when like helping out people in need. It's just a wonderful feeling, and it's just the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Right on. Good. Your dad's raising you right. That's for sure.
Thank you.
Oh,
are you guys?
We're so much alike that we actually butt heads once in a while. And you know what the scary thing is? I was talking to a gentleman today, and he's like, I said, half the time we might sit there and argue about something related to obviously power sports or something like that. And I hate to say it, he's right a good portion of the time. And it bothers me.
That's right. That's right.
So,
yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. And what Jackson, where do you see this going? Like you're doing snowmobile Guinness record attempts, you're doing ATV record attempts. What do you think's next for Jackson?
It's going to be a snowmobile one on February 14th. And then we're hoping to do one on a side-by-side next late summer.
Give us a
Very
break.
Cool.
Yeah, late summer.
that'll be something you can break your ankle doing pickleball and still be able to do that.
Just keep breaking the left foot. Don't go to the right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I just wouldn't play pickleball,
Right.
That's where it started.
Mom has forced me to play it for like just like a family fun night for a while. So I feel like I have to go out there and play, or else it's just 3 people on a court for 4.
Yeah, it's fun, just something to do. But yeah, the pickleball thing, I don't know. It's the fastest growing sport, they say.
It is.
Boring.
I tell you, I bought my wife a set of rackets and balls for Mother's Day, and we got them in a bag. It came in a little carry tote bag, and it's followed us back and forth to the cottage and all over the place. And the rackets haven't come out of the bag yet. That was that was from May. So it's like one day we will get out and try this sport, but I don't know, not today. Right?
Oh, I see some people are saying pickleball is awesome.
Yeah. Matsart says pickleball. He doesn't strike me as a real pickleballer, that guy.
It's funny because like I drive by and there's the pickleball courts, and they're just like packed, just packed. Yeah. Each their own. Their own.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. For sure. No, that's cool. Very cool. Yeah, and it's you want to talk a bit about your sponsors and the people that allow you to make this happen?
Yeah. So I mean, without these people and their support, like it's just not feasible to put these kind of events on. So like, I've been working with Ultimax for quite a few years now. CNA Pro Skis. We've worked with some just like good, fantastic people, and the people that work behind us, like Brock, and we've got the rest of our team, like, our friends up in Sudbury, Mark and Jessica and her family, and Kevin and their family, and my partners, Erik and Dave, and, none of this stuff, and having the support of your significant other too, right? Like, I mean, it takes up a lot of time, we're gone most weekends in the wintertime. So like we miss a lot of my daughter's hockey and stuff like that. But like, when it comes to people supporting you and helping you drive and want this to succeed just as much as you do, having those companies behind you are just like second to none, right? Like, I mean, they're just so fantastic, these people that we work with. So, I mean, without them, we'd be somewhat lost. Like, it was amazing, with us not really having a lot of experience with the ATV world, and a friend of ours reaching out to Bullite Wheels, off-road wheels, like, and they just automatically jumped in. And I mean, they were just like, here's the wheels. And then, we're sending you this, and we're going to post this, and we're going to do this for you. And I was like, oh my God, like, how wonderful is that? And it just keeps you driving more, right? Like, like Jeremy at JT's, like he was like jumping over. We got some tires, then I got delayed on the tires, and I'm thinking, holy man, we're like 3 days away from this event, and I don't have these wheels on this ATV yet, right? Like,
yeah. People
are saying, oh yeah, I'll get you tires, and then I'm like, hey man, like, I'm willing to pay for these things. I don't care. Like, like if you give a discount, great, fantastic, right? And then Jeremy jumps in and is like, I'll get you tires. And I mean, he had those things expressed from out west and there the day before, right? Like, just people jumping in and helping the way they can. Like, it's just, like, it's unbelievable. Even the non-power sport sponsors, like the little things like with Saga Barbershop and, Diving Board and Haulage and John Eakinson and, just all these different smaller, outside the power sport realm saying, hey, we're going to help you. Let's do this. Right. So it's just awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's and how do they? Are you well connected, or is it something they just hear about it through Facebook and social media and climb on board? Or are you out there hustling and beating down the path?
I would say that I'm pretty persistent, right? So when I'm passionate about something and I reach out to these people, and I'm not sending you an email unless I've spoken to you, right?
Yeah.
So I want to make that interaction with you. I will drive to meet you. I will, whatever the case may be, right? So, when it came to the Ultimax, for instance, speaking to Mike Ashby, the sort of the rep in the power sports, having a talk with him, and then next, meeting his boss at the time, the other Mike, and then them in the PSRA race. And then, they just loved how passionate we are about what we're doing. And I think that's where a lot of these companies have complete faith in me, that I will always, represent their brand in the most professional and, manner. Right. I'm passionate about the products that they do. Oh, my son, I'm talking with my hands too much, I guess, John. Jack's like, hold your hands down, Dad.
But he's fighting the air.
Yeah. So, it's the big thing for me is to, those companies that help us out, and I'm going to promote them in the most professional manner. And, the products that these people have, I mean, it's all products that I use, right? And we all use, right? So, I think they found that there's the value in what we do. It's, for instance, if I'm going to an event with one of the snowmobile clubs, I bring products from those manufacturers like Ultimax, and CNA gave us a nice set of skis to give away last year, and that's just stuff that they don't necessarily do a lot of, but they had that trust in me. And I wanted to meet a lot of these people, so like last year we went out to Heydays so I could actually shake hands with people, right? Like that was, I'm going to go out there and shake you, so I'm here, right? So, and I think they really, really appreciated that, right? So, Ryan and them at Rock Speed FX too. Like when I sent him a message saying, hey, we're going to do this ATV event, he sort of laughed and he's like, well, you need handguards for that, and I'll give you another set to give away. So, you know what I mean? Like, it's, So it's the support, and then we have those products too that we will, we raffle off through our events, right? So.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool. How to talk about your snowmobile history and your, are you guys avid riders beyond these events?
Oh yeah. I've been riding since I was probably 6-7 years old, down the Holland Marsh in Bradford. My dad would drop me off and my friends at the river, and he would bring, here's your jug of oil. You know how to mix your oil. Here's your jerry cans, and I'll pick you up at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. See you later. And then we would just ride the river. We would be up to Barrie, over to Holland Landing, back around, back down into Bradford. We'd have lunch at the Riverview restaurant, which is right on the river there as you're coming out of Bradford. So we'd have our lunch there. But yeah, I've been riding 6-7 years old. I started at 8 on a.
No,
you started at 6. 6 years old.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, you're little 120.
Yeah, and then I moved up since my sister wanted to start getting into it, so she stole the 120. So my dad put a socket behind the throttle on our old
Snow
600 Snow
Nice.
09. The ones that look like they're just ugly. The ones with 2 headlights.
Yeah, the frog.
And just put a socket behind the
There was a 916 socket that I did zip tied to the handlebar.
Yeah, nice.
Under control, right? But yeah, we ride a lot, in some of those photos that you'll bring up, some of the people that we ride with are just absolutely, I think there was 27 of us or something like that when we ran Sudbury, and you know, we have a great time riding. And I mean, I'd love to ride with you too. I mean,
yeah, for sure.
This, you know, like I love going for a good ride with a bunch of good people and just go out for the day and weekend or whatever the case may be and ride.
Yeah, we were just there's been some stuff in the chat. We do an annual group ride every year, and we had like I want to say 6 people originally from Wisconsin make the trip to Sportsman's Lodge in Sudbury, and I think last year they had say 9 or 10. Massart can correct me, or Wisco can correct me if I'm wrong. But they're bringing a big gang again this year. It's February 14th to 18th. So that's over the Family Day weekend, right. Friday to Tuesday. And it's I think it's $155 each, includes breakfast and dinner. And just make sure anybody that wants in on this, you got to email me, fanphoto@mudbrats.com, and I'll reserve your space, and then we can deal with the pleasantries of final booking and everything through with Jim when the time comes. But last year, as you're aware, the snow didn't turn out to be very good at all. I think we had 40 people registered, and at the last minute, Jim said the trails aren't going to be open. You guys can all cancel. I'll refund everybody that's paid so far, blah, 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 blah. And I just put it out there on the Monday podcast. You know, Corey and I are going somewhere. Anyone want to jump on board, hop in. And we had 12 or 13 of us went to Quebec. We all met up in Val d'Or and had a big lodge rented there. And it was insane. So that's that was the lodge from last year. My lighting's kind of crappy in here, but it was a riot. But yeah, you guys are more than welcome to come on that if you want to. Just hit me up. Anyone else in the chat, I won't be pushing it too hard this year because I don't have to. I think for the most part the main lodge will be sold out without trying, and then we'll move people in the tower like last year. So make sure you hit me up. Let me know what kind of numbers you're thinking as far as your buddies coming, and then we'll get this thing scheduled away. And we did a amazing poker run last year. We stopped along the way and handed out cards and had prizes for the best hand. Ultimax belt gave us some prizes. I had some CNA hats. What else? Koala Pieces toques, 2 Ultimax belts, and what else?
Let me
bunch
give
of
you
stuff.
some shirts.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Of our S4K Life Full Tilt shirts. I'll give you a couple.
Yeah,
I'll send them off to you. So for the thing, for sure, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, any prizes like that? Like we just we had best hand. Everybody got a card at each stop we made, and there's a video online, the poker run. If you look it up on my channel, you'll see what kind of fun and shenanigans we had with that event. So even though arguably I think Elites might have cheated on getting that Ultimax belt, but we'll see. So.
They are a good belt, man. They are a good belt. As Peter would say from Redneck Dirty Hands, you know, he's awesome. We were chatting one day, and you know, both working with Ultimax, and he's so awesome at what he does, and I just love watching him. Right, so he puts everything to the test. So I love working with him. He's just fantastic. He's just a great guy. Yeah, I
gotta tell you, he usually pops into the chat from time to time, and I was honored to have him on here last year, and it's probably one of the craziest shows we did. I can't believe we didn't get canceled on it. It was awesome. We had a good time. But aside from that, he's an amazing guy. Like we went to Heydays, and he was there with Ultimax and had the whole setup, and we went over there, and he made me feel like we knew each other our whole lives. And I gave him a Heyday shirt, kind of similar to the one I'm wearing here. And it's got Energy Power Sports and Fast Track Studs logo on it, and a QR code on the back you can scan to take you to this podcast. And you know, instead of throwing it in the corner, which a lot of guys like his size would have done, you know, like his channel's massive, and he actually put it on display, hung it right in the areas for everybody to see. You know, like I'm just so thankful for people like that just give it all back to us, right?
Absolutely. Like I met him for the first time last year at Sledheads in Peterborough, and we were just, you know, our booth and his booth were sort of adjacent to each other, and you know, like he just walked around to everybody. He's like introducing himself, and I'm like, I know, I watch you. You know what I mean? He's like, and we sparked it off, and we had a great conversation. He's just, you know, they're just, and his buddy Bill, I mean, and his beautiful wife. I mean, like, how does she deal with him? I don't know. Like, I don't know how, but hey, so no, it's just, you know, that's what I love about it too, is the people that we meet through our sport, right? I mean, that to me is building those relationships with people. And, you know, I've built some of the strongest relationships I've ever had in my life are all people that have, because we all have the same, you know, we may not ride the same brand. We may not, you know, but at the end of the day, we all ride. We you know, if one breaks down, we're there to help each other, you know, and that's what I love about it. The camaraderie is just amazing. And it's fantastic. And I'd hate to lose it.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. You meet very few arses out there that are in the sport. If they're passionate about it, they're usually decent people, and you can always click right away and get along. You know, like, did we just become best friends, kind of thing? Like it literally does work that way. And the people that we've done, like the show has brought together, as far as Lepoinski and Corey and I and Mike Galitz and Outdoor Hobby Guy, I see him in the chat right now, and Massart and Wisco Sledheads have started a bromance over the show, and just the people that we've all, and I go down there and we feel like we've known each other for years. I mean, they took us in at Heydays, and we had an Airbnb rented, and it was just a hoot, you know, and I love watching and laughing at those guys. And, you know,
was that your first Heydays last year?
Yeah, it definitely was. I didn't know what to expect. My son and I drove in on the Friday, and we came home Sunday morning. We just went for 2 nights.
Yeah.
But well worth it, man. Everyone's going, that was a crazy drive. And it's like, no, we laughed our butts off. I'm working on the video right now, actually. Time flew. I would do the drive again tomorrow if I was guaranteed to have that much fun, right?
Oh, yeah.
And you know, and then we ran into Massart and Wisco when we got closer there. We were within 5 minutes of each other at a gas station, and then we ended up trying to find some alcohol, and that's very hard in that area. There's no place to buy booze. We went to 2 or 3 different places. Walmart even didn't sell it, and it's like, yeah. So we ended up finding a beer store in the middle of Pine Island, or whatever the little town is there, Pine City. And so
I noticed we went last year. We didn't go this year just because we had so much on the go this year with the ATV event. But, you know, we went to Heydays, and it's just the people there. I mean, you know, I got to, you know, I'm a big Arctic Cat rider. So, you know, finally, I got to shake hands with Mike Letty at the race department, and people that I built relationships, you know, via email and, you know, text messages and stuff like that. But actually, to go read it, it was just amazing. It was just a fantastic, and I look forward to going. I'm going to go next year for sure.
And on the way down there, when we came through the Upper Peninsula of Michigan and went into Wisconsin, I'm a Buffalo Bills fan. I like the Bills. They're my favorite football team, and everywhere in Wisconsin, every single gas station had this thing called Packers Points. I don't get it.
That's awesome.
So he's like, I'm like, just shh, we're not from around this area. Don't talk about it.
That's right.
You know, just shh. Go to sleep in the back. Yeah. So no, it was great. We did the same thing. We left the Friday. They had a PA day. We shot out there, got there the Friday night. Went there all day Saturday. We got up Sunday morning, came back home.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, and that was neat. And I think next year I want to stay Sunday too. You know, Wisco Sledhead says it's okay, buddy. I'm not a Packer fan either. LOL. Robert Reinhardt's jealous about the bromance. He's Massart lives 20 minutes from the stadium, so he says go Pack go. LOL. Yeah.
I just
so no.
And one thing I noticed too, like I was saying earlier, we've never been into the ATV thing. Like not that it's just something I never really invested in or did. Right? Yeah. For the longest time in the summertime, we're out on the boat and snowmobiling in the winter and stuff. So, even jumping this real first year into the ATV world, wouldn't believe the amount of people that jumped in right away and showed support and helped. Hey, if you need any help with this is what you need to do. Like just people it was just amazing to see how people just jumped in to help and do whatever they could do. It was awesome. It was fantastic.
Very, very cool. And you said it has a horn and it, like that. So it's not like it's not a top 3 brand. What are you riding? Like a High Sun or a
CF Moto?
A CF Moto? Okay, perfect. Yeah, CF Moto makes a great bike. Yeah.
Horn. It's got a license. It's
EPS.
got a holder for a license plate on the back. It's got license plate lights, so you can ride it on the roads legally. Well, only if your area allows it, but our area allows it.
Yeah, no, it's CF Moto. I mean, we did. There's a gentleman. He's like, those things are a little laggy, so I'm going to send you a clutch kit. I'm like, okay, well, what do I owe you? And he's like, nothing. I'm like, what? And it was my lifter garage. I'm like, I've never met you in my day of my life, but just that. Here, we want to help. However we can, we're going to help you, right? Like,
very cool. Very cool. It looks great. Like I like it with those bullite rims and the bead locks and stuff. Looks really good. Like, yeah, you really represented. That's for sure.
So I'll tell you, that's a relationship that I can tell is going to go so much further. They're so like just super team down there. Like the way they just jumped on and I'm not the greatest on, your social media stuff. Like, I don't know how to put some of these videos that some of these people put together. I mean, I'd love to be able to do that, but they just jumped in right away and helped. And honestly, I was expecting, oh, wonderful, we'll get a discount on some wheels and, no, boom, this is what you're putting on there. And this is this is what you need. This is what you need. I'm like, my head was spinning.
Right on.
My head was spinning. It was awesome. So
but don't think it's all, you earned it. Yeah, you earned it because you're doing good things for other people and it pays yourself back, right? Like it's greedy to go into these events expecting free stuff but not giving back to the for the right cause. And those people that do that don't go very far.
That's right. And not once, if they said, yeah, we're going to send them to you and we'd like to have them back, I would do that. Right. Like, but they were just so like, no, put them on. That's, that's our contribution to it. Right. So, and they just helped us on the social media aspect to help push us because like I said, I'm not the greatest at it. Right. And I'll be the first one.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, but very cool.
They're just good people. And like I said, all these relationships that I've built with these people have just been absolutely awesome,
Yeah, sounds like it. Do you want to get into some fan photos now? And we're going to have a look at some of the photos that our friends have sent in, and then you sent me a bunch of photos. So let's do that. I just want to roll our the little ad from our friends at Fast Track Snowmobile Traction Products, and then we'll get right into the fan photos. Fan photos are brought to you by Fast Track Snowmobile Traction. This season, quit sliding sideways on the ice and losing races to your buddies. A Fast Track stud kit will help you with improved braking and give you the arm-ripping acceleration you crave. I put over 3,000 clicks last season on my Renegade 850, and I'll tell you, these studs exceeded my expectations. Not one broken stud, my Ida wheels still look like new, and they hooked up like I was on rails in the twisties, inspiring confidence every ride. Fast Track Top Gun kits are the highest rated stud kit at 4.9 stars with over 230 reviews. The studs are heat treated stainless so they are strong and they don't rust. The kit is lighter, easier on the track, and has a lifetime warranty against breaking. Each kit comes with a track-specific template for complete balance with over double the scratch lines from stock templates. All listeners when purchasing a stud kit can get a free install kit, a $30 value. Visit fasttrack.co, add both products to the cart, and use the coupon code SNOW at the checkout. That's fasttrac.co. Right on. There we go. So, yeah, very cool. And then we're getting the Bullwinkle 1 all prepped for the snowmobile show this weekend. And we're looking at the studs going like, okay, this is like, we ran through crap last year. Most of it was gravel and slush, and the track isn't faring that well, but the studs look brand new. You would never know that they've gone through the mess that they've done. So I just love those stainless steel Fast Track studs. They're great. Now listen, somebody mentioned, I think it was Lepoinski said, make sure you get Gary's coffee. And I didn't really talk much about that last year. At the end of the show, I put I know that some of the fans requested me to get coffee, and last year at the end of the show, I put a photo contest out, and I didn't say what it was for. And people sent in their photos, and I picked 6 of them for the first run of coffee, and they're featured on the label with a little story about what the photos are. So. Hot Coffee is who's got that links there. We have Corey Jinks is in the middle, and then Sled 519 is shown there. But we also have labels from Corey Brock's got a label. I'm drawing a blank of who else I've got labels from. But yeah, so if you want a coffee, email me at fanphoto@mudbrats.com. If you're coming to the sled show, I can bring you some to the sled show. I think it's delicious. It's micro roasted right here in my town. And the bags have a little Ziploc on the back of them even, so they stay fresh. And they're always roasted within days of your order. So it's not like I've got a box of these since March still kicking around. I just order them in small batches. And actually, I've got 2 more bags coming to me tomorrow that are going to go out. So it's kind of neat. So, and then stay tuned because I'll probably have more photo contests so you can get your picture on a label if the format's right and everything like that. So yeah, it's great coffee. And I know a few guys have tried it in the chat. So let us know what you think. If it sucks, let us know. If it's good, let me know as well. $19 a bag is what I charge for that stuff. So it's competitive with the store, but it's way better than you get in the store because it's actually fresh. Yeah. So I want to read this little, yeah, for sure. I want to read this little email I got recently. Hey, Gary, I hope you're well and having a good summer. Just wanted to drop you a note to say hello and share with you that I'm finding a lot of joy and value of watching all the past Snowmobile Session episodes on the hottest days of summer this year. Now I'm very curious about getting a clutch kit for my 22 Enduro 600R from Thunder Products Clutching. That would be a great place to start. I also have a whole new appreciation for belts after watching the Ultimax episode. Kudos to you on the many how-to videos as well for the sleds. My wife and I have a house in Caribou, Maine. Booked this upcoming January for a month, and I plan on being the best winter yet. Your content is helping the days and weeks click by until the winter gets here. We will be attending the Toronto Snowmobile Show this year. I hope you will be attending as well. I am. Already told him to come see me Sunday, and he'll be able to meet me and Drew in person and say hello. Thanks again for all the content you produce and everything that you do for the snowmobiling community, KC. So pretty neat to get an email like that. I get a few of them and I try and read them out when I do, but it really makes that. This is the email that actually made me text you because I was having a crazy day that day, and then I don't know who was texting me first, if it was your wife or who it was. Somebody was texting. Was it Ron? And I just finally said,
it might have been Ron.
And I just finally said, is he available Monday? Because it was after I read this. I went, I'm going to start it now. right? And so it's good. So Wisco's wife says coffee is great. Been drinking it every morning when I get to work. So that's pretty cool. Lauren Scanlon sent me some pictures for last year from Cochrane. I know there's some stuff in the chat about that. Let me see if I can find out what he says about these pictures while I've got this up. He says here are some pictures from our trip to Cochrane. It was back in March for what was likely the last ride of his season. He jumped right on it when they announced their trails were opening. It was a little sore place riding with the family along, but it was lots of fun making memories. He was impressed with the trail conditions and was able to move along pretty good hauling the snow coach with his 4-year-old son and 1-year-old daughter and the dog in the trunk. He's pulling it with his Expedition 900R and he's also got a Renegade 900R. He loves the podcast. Cheers from Cobalt, Ontario. Lauren Scannion. So this is pictures taken from the Lookout Tower. And then Frederick House River Bridge is what this picture is. So pretty cool. Thanks for sending those in, Lauren. These came in late in the year last year. The season ended for us. It was the last show he sent them, but I thought I'd hang on to them and show them now. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I'd love to.
That's a great pick.
Yeah, it is. It is. I love the signs there and stuff.
Yeah.
The snow coaches, those even had radios in them. They used to sell those at Costco years ago. Yeah, and I think they're around $2,000, and the optional radio inside of them. Pretty cool.
It's just, I love how, starting them young and the whole family thing, right? Going out, right? That's great.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, I miss that because we didn't have very good winters back when my kids were little. Right. And then we got into ATVing first. I think Drew might have been 8 or 9 then. I think he might have been 8 years old then. And then I kept talking to him about how fun snowmobiling is, and there's not another sport that's like snowmobiling, because I grew up sledding like you did, where Friday nights was just a gang of us kids getting together, and we wouldn't come home till the sun was coming up, kind of thing, right? And that's the thing. It's we finally bought a beater sled, and then we got hooked from there, and the quads got sold because they were both sitting in the garage with flat tires, right? It's so it's kind of neat how it comes, but it would have been cool to see, like, have that those snow coach days with the kids when they were really, really young. But I did have a ski boost a couple years ago when Drew was, I want to say he was 16 or 17. I was towing him around with my 69 Nordic in the ski boost, doing a full 40-mile-an-hour pull on ice, and he was flying around laughing his ass off. It was a good time.
Oh, that's good.
But yeah, it's and then Massar said, "Hell yeah, brother!" He was happy to see that the show was back on, and sent me a picture of his new sled, which I had the honor of designing the wrap for him and printing the wrap, and I gave it to him down at Heydays, and he sent me pictures, and this thing looks even better on the sled than I thought it was ever going to look. Isn't that wild? Yeah. He likes the Techno B, and he wanted something throwing back to that Lexan hood days back in the old Rev days. Oh, and so that's what we did is a kind of a new take on the Lexan hood. So
that looks good.
Thank you. Yeah, it turned out really good. And then he got some goodies at Heydays as well. So he's changing over to a belt drive. So I can't wait to see how this thing performs. Yeah. So he's got a few other Go Fast goods in under the hood too, which we'll get to at a later date. But this is just one. It's still naturally aspirated, but this is just one of the pieces of the puzzle that is going to make this thing light up. That's for sure. Yeah. Wisco says, "I'm not a wrap guy, but that sled looks fire." Yeah, it does. I was happy with it, man. I knew it was going to look cool, but when he sent me the pictures, the side views of that thing, I was like, man, that's a sick machine, and it's going to look great on the snow too.
Yeah.
Sometimes I hit it out of the park, and sometimes they're total fails.
They, it's some people like they take it too, and then they've gone too far with it. To me, this is better, right? So.
Oh, absolutely. Like I like how it's just one isolated area, like the hood. So it's it's you can't go wrong. But
No.
Now we're back into your photos here. And these are in no particular order too. So just a forewarning.
So that photo there is actually in Cochrane.
Oh, sweet.
And that's my buddy. That's one of my best friends, Erik. And he decided he was going to turn around, and he forgot that he was on a 4-stroke. This was his first 4-stroke, and he's like, "Oh my God, these things are like tanks, man, tanks." Bye, Mary. Yeah. He would always make fun of everyone that gets buried, right? And so when I came around the corner and saw him, I'm like, "Oh, click, 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 click." He's like,
Wisco says that's the ditch pickle right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
the best part about snowmobiling. Yeah, that's the best part about snowmobiling is you never get help when you go in the ditch. You just get photos taken of you, right? Yeah.
So that's my son and daughter there. Yeah, that was out in the back field there. That's that Snow Pro F6. Yeah,
Jackson's favorite looking sled of all time.
He hated that thing. It worked really well, that sled. I called Cam up at Country Corners one day, and I'm like, dude, I need a sled. Like, what do you want? 600. I just need something 600. What do you got there? He's like, well, I got this. So I ran down to Country Corners there, and Cam hooked me up with that thing. And I'll tell you, we got it back. I didn't realize. I didn't even, like, he fired it up there. We just loaded on my trailer, and that thing was clutched and piped. And I'm like, well, you can't ride this in the trail. He was too young at the time. So you can ride it in our field, right? And that's my daughter on her little 120. But that 120 actually ripped the 120 out of it and put a 206 Animal in it.
Nice.
Yeah, those Briggs 206s in it.
Yeah.
Jackson used to race go-karts. So I had a couple of those Briggs and Stratton 206s on the bench, and I just threw one in there.
That's wild. What's that thing do for a top speed?
I don't know. We had that geared pretty good. I don't even know. It wasn't crazy, but I couldn't even tell you exactly. But it used to pull the skis on it. I don't know if I sent you a picture, but Jackson, there was a video of him like on the field, and he just like stands on the back of it, and the thing's like wheeling right up the path. But
that's cool.
I had to play.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is his love for his little sister right there.
Right.
What do you think's going on? He's sitting there, the weird look on his face, pointing at her helmet.
Oh yeah. He's like, I think this day here, the night before, we just got bombarded with snow. And so I thought, well, perfect. Let's just go to the fields and we'll just run. And she kept on getting stuck in that little thing, right? Until I said, you have to follow my track. So I was going out there just packing down tracks for her, right? But the odd time she'd get off and she'd just bury that little 120 there. So he got so tired of having to get her out of it. So,
that's very cool. Masters can't wait for his daughter to be on a little mini like that.
Yeah.
Oh, he'll have it with a 207 or bigger in it. A 399. Yeah.
Well, the nice thing is those 206s just bolt it right in. Like, there was
that's cool.
One kit that I got from Paul Weatherall. It was a pipe, exhaust pipe, and there was like a chain tensioner, and then it just bolted right in. So I just literally jetted it, plopped it in, and the thing went like a scared rape. Like, it was fast.
I love it.
It was awesome.
Reinhardt's talking about your picture with your buddy. He said that's the difference between friends and true friends. Friends will help you out right away, but true friends stop and take pictures.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I wouldn't expect anything less if I did it, because I know he'd be out there with a video camera of some sort.
The All Terrain TV says about Jackson's face here. He says that's a look when your sister gets your machine stuck. LOL. Yeah.
Yeah, that was just before the year before that, right? So yeah.
Yeah, for sure. He's got to watch because she will be getting to the age where she'll be kicking his butt soon on the trails.
Oh yeah. Well, she's ready. She's a good little rider. She's so busy with hockey right now, but she likes to go out with Dad and her brother. We all go for a ride, so she enjoys it. There he is on the
cool.
That was my 2015. That thing was a rocket.
Very nice. Are you guys? I didn't really look closely at your new pictures. Are you on Catalyst now, or are you what are you on now?
I'm Pro Cross chassis. I don't know yet. I do have an 858 sort of waiting sitting in the back room kind of thing. Yeah. I don't know. I'm just so stuck on those Pro Cross chassis. And it's not, I love those Catalysts. Don't get me wrong. I've taken it for a spin. I thought it was fantastic. But, I'm the big 4-stroke guy now. I never used to be. And then in the last couple of years, I just start playing with tuning and talking to some other guys and doing this and doing that. And, I think that 2015 right there, I put a stage 4 in it, clutched the bejesus out of it, and it was 400 plus horsepower out of that thing on stage 4. Right?
Holy cow!
Yeah, it was a rocket, that thing. Yeah, so I got tinkering with it, and I'm sort of stuck on these 4-strokes. I don't know what it is, but
you like Cochrane in those big wide open areas, though, right?
Right. Yeah.
That's probably the difference. If you were down our way, the 4-stroke turbos are kind of, and I wouldn't say useless, but you'll get more fun out of them if you're in Quebec or Cochrane or someplace where it's long and wide and you want to do hundreds of miles in a day.
Yeah, like the Abitibi, Abitibi Canyon there, the loop there. Like coming down Piston Alley down the west side there. I mean, we do 50 kilometers an hour down that stretch.
That's right.
There's times when you have to blow out the carbon in it and give her some breath, right? No, it's just, I just really gotten onto these 4-strokes, and I would say the last 3-4 years really, and I just like tinkering with them. I don't know. Yeah.
Do you think they'll take that Catalyst and put a 4-stroke in it, a 4-stroke turbo?
So it's funny you say that, because I always just because I'm a big Cat fan, and I always people ask me, do you think I'm like, I really don't know. I mean, I looked under the hood of that Catalyst and I'm thinking, even the 858 or the 600, I'm like, there's no way you could fit a 998 in that. Even if you went back to a 1056, you know what I mean? Like that 2015 had the 1056 in it, right? Like, I don't know how you'd mount that thing. Like the bulkhead of it and the structure would have to be really change up. So it's hard to say. It's really hard to say. And, with Yamaha's step away, what's going to happen with the 4-stroke and Cats and stuff? Who knows, right?
Yeah. Like, it's funny you say that about the room, because when I was at the Toronto Snowmobile show, when they first launched the Catalyst, somebody had made a comment, I think it was their engineer I was talking to, that there's room for a turbo under the hood.
Yeah. And
then we looked at the 858 at heydays, and the plumbing under that thing is impressive. I mean, it needs some type of award for the engineer that designed that, because there's things going everywhere underneath there. There's I can't see putting a turbo in there unless you got rid of your straight pipe in it or something. Like it's a really neat. Don't get me wrong. I was really impressed with the way it is. It's just so different coming from like a Skidoo or Polaris that everything's where you think it should be, and then you go into the catalyst. And I think Drew started pointing out, like, why is the oil thing here, or why is this there? And it's like,
Right.
oh, it's because this engine's backwards and sideways, and there's hoses and pipes and stuff sticking out where it shouldn't be, right?
Well, it's funny because, I had that sled there, and Guy is one of the engineers with Articat, and he saw it at the Toronto show a couple years back, and he's like, God, I wonder if we could actually make a power steering kit work with this thing. And, he's sort of looking at it, and I'm thinking, he's like, do you think if I sent you one, you'd be able to put it in? I'm like, don't send it, because I ain't doing it. He just laughed. He's like, no, but that'd be cool to do something like that. But yeah, like, you look under the hood of these newer sleds, and I'm talking all brands, right? And how
yeah.
Like just tight and you remember, you go back to the old days, like in the 90s when we're, the Polaris Indies and all those other things, you just flop the hood open,
Flip the hood up and
literally unbolt 4 bolts and pull the motor out and put it on the bench. Like, try doing that now. Like, it's just
oh yeah. It's again, don't get me wrong, like, I think more or less it was just the way that everything was oriented in the underneath the hood. But very cool. I'd love to ride your 858. I'd love to try it and just see what that's like. On paper it seems awesome, like, and what you see at the show, it seems great. Like, it's
the first person I talked to was Richard Keogh and Jeff, the guys that put on the Toronto Snow Show. And Richard's like, Josh, that thing's like, it's awesome. Like, it is a gnarly sled. Like, that thing boogies. And then Jeff was like, this thing, wow.
Very,
like,
very cool.
God. You guys are not making it easy for me.
Yeah, very cool.
So,
yeah.
There's one that I should never have gotten rid of.
The 9,000. Yeah.
That F7.
Oh yeah, I love the F7s are awesome.
I should never have gotten rid of that thing. That thing was just absolutely mint. Gorgeous. I think I had 1,300 kilometers on it when I got rid of it.
Wow.
1,300.
That's insane, man.
That thing was did nothing to it. It had the manual reverse kit in it. And that was
right on.
And I'm telling you, that thing would just, it was a sleeper. That, like most people, that thing would just, it rock and rolled. It killed my 8,000. Like, it would just stomp it.
Yeah. Corey says he had the same F6 and he loved it. Yeah. He said it ripped. Actually, it's so funny because a friend of ours bought an F7, and my friend, I've told this story 100 times on here if I haven't told it 200 times. But my friend Dino, he's probably watching right at home right now, and he said that the happiest day of his life was the day because Dino had an 800 Skidoo HO. And he said the happiest day of his life is when his buddy sold his F7 because it would kick his butt.
Well, my buddy Erik, from that first picture of the guy that was in the ditch there and got stuck, he had the F7, but it was the fighter pilot, the silver one. Now, I didn't like the looks of that thing. To me, you don't try to make a snowmobile look like a freaking fighter jet. It's just stupid. But
no,
that
that's
thing
right.
fast. It was so fast. Like, this thing, I if I could get that sled back today, I would do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah. You know what? And they were really good suspension wise too. Like, that's when, Skidoo was just getting into the rev and things like that. And I think if the rev never came out, that was better set up and better suspension. And, I think it's a great concept. The Jet Fighter edition, Corey says they made a few different limited editions back then. Yeah. So
just wasn't my favorite one. I don't know. Just that theme kind of thing. I'm not big on.
Yeah.
That's Jackson there in Cochrane. he got the caught. And I wish the picture was better to show exactly, but he laid at it and the thing would just roll him right to the side. So in the middle of the night, he kept on rolling right off the bed.
He doesn't look impressed in this picture at all.
No,
Yeah. What's he good for a day of riding? How many kilometers is he good for?
He rode with us up in Sudbury last year. We did, it was like a 14, 15 hour day, and he does no problem. Like, didn't even phase him. No, he'll go. Like, you know, a couple times he got out there with his buddies last year. You just, you know, I know it was a lot of ditch banging because the trails weren't open down here really, but that's the thing with this kid. He just wants to ride. That's all he wants to do. That's all he wants to do is ride.
Very cool.
Yeah,
very cool. It's good to see you pushing the sport to the kids like that, even your daughter, right? Like, that's one thing that we're finding, that, you know, the kids love it when they get a chance to do it, but they don't have many friends that do it as well. I don't know if it's like that where you are, but it's very, very few kids in our area, like Drew's age, that actually ride.
Right.
You know,
he's got some friends. Like, we have friends up in Sudbury, and we have, you know, friends down in Mississauga, and Kevin and their kids. You know, they're all like within 12 to 14, 15 years old, right? And they all ride together. They all ride.
Yeah, cool.
They're great. Yeah.
Yeah. It must be Northern Ontario thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Wisco says you drive a good truck brand too.
I did.
Hashtag Ford gang. You did.
So there's that fighter jet thing that I was talking
about. It is too. Yeah. Right?
Yeah, that thing.
That's freaking ugly.
Oh God, right? That's like just terrible. But it flew. That thing flew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So now this picture embodies snowmobiling right here. Yeah. It's a bunch of sleds, even though there's 3 Arctic Cats, but there's a couple Skidoos in the picture.
Oh yeah.
There's a few Skidoos. There's an old Polaris wedge in there. You see
that back there, eh?
Yeah. So it's like, you know, this embodies snowmobiling. Like, this is a perfect day on the trails right here. I don't know how many people there are. There's got to be 20 or 30 people in this shot. It's amazing, you know. So
there was 30 of us, I think, on that trip there, that ride there. That was up in Georgian Bay, by Penetangle Street in Midland. Yeah.
All-terrain TV spotted. He said a few wedges out back and gives you the thumbs up, right? Yeah.
Oh, there was
Wisco says greasy.
Well, I was trying to actually find an old picture of my ZRT 600. That thing was just the greasiest triple I've ever.
Yeah,
I played with that thing too much. So
yeah, and this is nice. I love seeing this picture because it makes you remember the days when we had snow.
Yeah,
right.
Right.
So this is what we go.
That's even going back to my wife riding. That's my wife on that orange F5 there.
Right on.
Yeah. She doesn't really ride anymore.
That's who's that? The one standing with her thumb up. That's my jacket from a few years ago. The TNT orange and black Skidoo jacket.
Oh.
Yeah, it's some pink helmet. And like the hugging the person on the orange frog there.
That one there, what's her? Oh God. Oh, Jeannie.
Yeah.
Jeannie Sidor. That's it. Yeah. Yeah. She rides, I can't remember. I think she rides a 800 E-Tech, 850 E-Tech.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. Her and her husband. Her husband they have matching sleds. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. Hey, question from All Terrain TV. He wants to know how that Cat Triple, how was the Cat Triple overall? Reliable and fast, or ready to blow at any time?
Oh, the ZRT 600? You know what?
I think he's talking about your triple 4-stroke, possibly.
Oh, the 998? No, that thing's bulletproof. Honest to God.
I don't know. Maybe it was your ZRT 600 a triple? Was it a triple?
Yeah, my ZRT 600.
Your 600? Oh, okay, that's what he's talking about then. Yeah.
Yeah, that old thing, that was greasy, that thing. Like, that was just, oh God. I shouldn't have done what I've done to those things. Like, I'm at one point I thought I would get into trying to deck heads on them and, trying to figure things out on my own instead of going back to the day where I'd go to like Chris Bondy in Newmarket and say, Chris, I need my heads decked, or, I need a port done here. And I thought, well, I'm going to try this myself. This can't be that hard.
Yeah. So it was reliable until you started messing.
Oh yeah,
with
it was reliable as hell until I got my hands on it. that just went,
Yeah.
That's a great picture.
Very
there.
cool. There's another shot of the same group. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, look how deep the snow was too. Like those footprints are sinking down like a foot in the snow, easy. Pretty cool.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, it was a good day. My dog.
This is crazy. This is crazy. Is this Jackson's room?
Yeah.
So we got a picture of a bed with an Arctic Cat share our passion comforter on it. He's got Arctic Cat pillow. He's got a Team Arctic Cat flag on the wall, and he's got the back walls painted green, and he's got LEDs, stripper lights around the whole outer corner of the room.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's, like I look at more like I've always been a cat guy, but I mean, I've had everything. Like I've owned everything, right? Like I remember 1995, I walked into Don Coffee Sales. Remember in Cookstown, it was a Ski-Doo dealer. And I had sort of had enough. And that was my ZRT days before that, banging that thing up. And I just sort of had enough. And I went and walked in there and I bought a brand new 95 Mach 1. And my dad walked
right on.
Yeah, he bought a 95 Mach Z. And he was always a Ski-Doo guy. My dad was a Ski-Doo guy. He's like, oh, now you're on the right side of the tracks there, boy. And then I rode that for a couple of years, and I think it was a great sled. A big heavy thing, that 670 was just a monster. It was a big sled. But yeah, and then, I always say this to everyone, probably one of the best sleds in the top 3 that I've ever owned, and that's a lot of sleds, would be my 92 XCR 440.
Right on.
Was at that thing, that little red rocket, I mean, that thing flew. And it's funny because Stein brothers that own Edge Performance in Bradford, he owned it before I did. And we're both always trying to find it because the VIN number on it, the last 3 digits were 666. So if I could ever find that XCR 440 with 666, I'll beat him to buy it before Craig does. I'd have to get that sled. It was a great.
I love
sled.
it.
Yeah.
Very cool. All Train TV says for Jackson to chase gas stations, not chicks.
Oh, it's
the wisdom that my chat has is unrivaled. Like
I think it's great. I mean,
you learn so much.
He's at that age, right? Where
he says, what chick would want to hang out with that kid with the Arctic Cat sheets
and the mullet? He's an 80s kid.
The mullet, yeah.
But this is
for sure.
Santa Claus Parade.
If he starts jumping and if he starts jumping enticers, you might have to take him for therapy.
I wish I'd sent it to you because he had a 79 enticer 250, and we have pictures. I'll send them to you sometimes just to see him beating that thing down the field and just banging through ditches. And that's like, oh my God. Ugh.
Right on. Right on.
That was a Santa Claus Parade in Midland, that one there. We actually won the best float.
Really? Right on.
Yeah.
If you have Santa on your flow, that happens, right?
Santa Claus was right behind us, and he's like, I just love that snowmobile. I think you should take me for a ride on it. And you can see, like, this was in November, and the grass is still green. That was a couple.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
So you did take him for a ride on it. You can't say no to Santa. I mean, come on, it's Santa Claus, right?
That's right. Yeah.
So what this was this one of the first years you were doing the Sledheads for kids?
Yeah,
or
that was the very first
recent?
year. Yeah, that was the very first year that we got kiboshed on. But yeah, that was the very first year. We put this float together and we bought a bunch of candy canes, and we had some nice cards to hand out to families, and we gave out the candy canes to the kids, and yeah, we had a bunch of kids walking through the float with us too, right? So it was all about them enjoying the day, and a lot of them sat on the float while we were pulling it and stuff. It was good. It was a lot of fun.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
There he is. Is that the same sled there?
That's his ZR 4000 RR. That's his 2016. That's awesome. 500 in it. Of the 500, but we did some work to that. We clutched it and geared it, and yeah, that little thing there is I love riding it. I love riding. I've actually taken that to North Bay while we go ice fishing for a weekend, and we'll do some trail riding. I'll take that thing. It's so good on gas, and you can whip that thing around. And it's still a 90-mile-an-hour sled all day.
Oh
long,
yeah,
right?
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. Oh. Does Jackson have any aspirations to race, or is he just more into the?
Yep. Endurance. That's why I started with my partner Ron Schilling. We started the Full Tilt Cross Country Race Series.
I talked to Ron Schilling last year about getting him on here. Actually, he does the oval races, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So him and I started the Full Tilt Cross Country Series. We're hosting one race this year, February 7th to the 9th at Rama. We have a bunch of classes. We're going to have everything at our booth at the Toronto show. Make sure you stop.
Cool.
By. Yeah, it's something.
Well, absolutely, I will. Yeah.
He likes Jackson. He's not like, I said, do you want to run CSRA? He's like, to me, it's a little boring, Dad. Like, it's not. He likes that endurance and that trail and hard rights and hard lefts, and the jumps are nice. He likes jumping once in a while. He'll find something to jump, but he's like, he likes that 50 miles, 100 miles. Like that's him, right? So yeah, and he drag races too. Like he's drag raced my big 4-strokes there and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, you were at the show with the grass drag girl last year, right?
With Ariane. Yeah, she had her booth there beside like with ours. Yeah. So she
that's cool. Her story is really cool. I love what they done with that grass track and everything that she's working on there. I don't know where they're at this year. Yeah, absolutely. There's a documentary on YouTube. You can look it up, and it's a really good documentary on everything they've accomplished doing that. So no, that's cool.
Yeah. Now there is, this girl here, Brooke Lippert. She's part of our team. Like she has done so much for the S4K name, the Sledheads for kids. I'm so dumb with the social media stuff, and she's so busy right now, so it's hard to really do it. But man, oh man, you want to talk about a girl that's a diehard sledder, and you should see her. Like this whole asphalt thing is on her. Like she does this.
That's all crazy.
Yeah, she's just a wonderful person. She's a hardworking girl, and I just absolutely love this photo. I love that photo of that sled. What she's done with it. She's just a champion in every aspect. Yeah. Very
cool. Now, has she got any records as far as drag racing goes? She's young. Like, how old are we looking at here?
Brooks, what, 24? He's like,
oh, she's that old, right? I was thinking she was younger than that.
Yeah, no, she races, a lot in all weekends in the summer there. I don't want to say Grand Bend. Is it Grand? Yeah, it's Grand Bend.
Yeah, Grand Bend does grass or pavement drags for sure.
Yeah. So we've gone out and saw her, and she's, like I said, she's done so much. She was at the Toronto show in our booth last year. You know, she is the perfect person to have on your side. And I'm telling you, if anyone, like, you know, she's so appreciative of anything she gets. Like, we got her the Ultimax belt steel and stuff like that. You know, she does this all on her own with her dad and her boyfriend, right? Like, you know, when we had a barbecue last March at Aurelia Motorsports because the season just sucks. We had a vintage sled show type thing, and you know, that the work she put in that stuff is just like, I'm telling you, if you're ever check her out on Instagram and stuff like that, Brooke Lippert, she's just
for sure.
She is a icon to me. I look up to her just because of the person she is. She's just that good. Yeah.
That's awesome. And is she on a 2-stroke there? Is that what she's racing?
Yeah. That's a TCAT 900 triple.
Yeah.
That thing is gnarly.
Right on.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah. That was
Neato.
actually.
So here's Jackson again. What's he got?
He won. I think that show was Voters' Choice Award for
People's Choice. It says People's Choice. Yeah.
He won that at the Chelsea snowmobile show a couple years ago.
Very cool.
Yeah.
That's what gets him driven. I bet, right?
Oh yeah, like he just loves sleds, right? Like that's just his thing, right? So I'm all about it too. So it's good. That's Heydays from 2 years ago.
That's Heydays right there. That's the shot, right?
Yeah. Like I just couldn't
Very
remember.
Cool.
Like I wanted to go to every booth, but I just I couldn't because like the day got ahead of you. You know, I was at CNA Pros for their booth for a while with Ryan, and then over to Rock Speed FX and was with that Ryan over there for a while, and then we're over at Cat, and then we saw MJ Thompson at the Ski-Doo booth. You know what I mean? Like it just you get wrapped up, and like next thing you know, it's the day was gone, and we were with Mike and Mike there at Ultimax too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, you can see it all in a day, but what you can't see is the swap meet area, which is just
I know
bizarre. Like that's what totally blew me away is the swap meet area was just insane. Like 3 or 4, I think it was 3 or 4 fields and I'm talking huge fields.
Oh yeah,
full of people selling parts and sleds and bikes.
If you can't find what
some people just dragged everything out of their house and you're never going to find it. It doesn't exist. No. Yeah. So it's crazy. It's pretty crazy.
I think
and this shot, I mean, this is what, go ahead.
I was saying, I think like when we went over to the swap meet part of it, I think we only did like half of one field. That was it.
Yeah. I think we did part of, I think we might've did 1 full field, almost another second one. We totally missed one, and we might have just did a little sampling of the third. Like it's insane. But I was going to say this shot here, you see where it looks like 1,000 people. The event isn't always all like that. Like it's not like you're there and you're just smothered. This is just where you're going in and out, but it's what everybody likes to show because it just shows you how many people are there. It's crazy. Yeah. And the Sea Boys had their booth. People were lined up like that to go see the Sea Boys. Like it was insane.
Jackson was there for 3 hours. 3 hours to get his shirt and get he got a shirt. He bought a shirt, had it all signed by them all. Bought a big water bottle and a bunch of other stuff, right? But yeah, he loves the Sea Boys. Like that. They're good, right? Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, like that's the thing. It blows your mind how the following they have. Now, if you bought their merch this year, you could win. I think they had two of their bikes up for prizes if you bought their merch and your name was in a draw. So I think that made it even worse, right?
Oh, right. Like what a way to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. So And here's Jeff Steenbachers.
Yeah, Jeff has been a big supporter of what we're doing. We made those shirts up last year for the snow show, and
right on,
full tilt, baby. And he's like, he said, I'm gonna get one of these shirts, and I was surprised. I was actually watching it in the episode. I'm like, holy shit, he's wearing our shirt. He's wearing your shirt, guys. he texts me. He's like, yep, you'll see it in the first episode. And I'm like, oh,
that's wicked,
cool, right? So, but those shirts have been flying. Like we couldn't even keep them in stock. Like they just go so quickly. Those ones, yeah.
Right on. Where do people get, like, do you have a website that they order the merch from, or are you getting it at shows?
We've always done it at shows, but we are going to be putting it on our website. Like that's what I was saying earlier. We're revamping the website, so there will be a stores part of it. Once again, there we'll have this seems to be the big number one seller is that buffalo plaid shirt. Like it just goes. As soon as we brought it in, they were gone. I bring them to a show, they were gone within minutes. So they were big, huge. So we're going to be adding that to the website over the next month or so as we sort of revamp it, right? So
very cool. Yeah, nice. this is
That's my little princess. Yeah, that's my little girl there. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. I wouldn't let her drive that one.
Is she gonna be, do you think she's gonna be like Jackson, where she's out there trying to break records? And yeah.
Yep. Oh yeah. I think you give her the opportunity. She's very competitive. So whatever Jackson does, she wants to beat Jackson, right? So that's it.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Oh yeah. She's competitive. Yeah. She's very competitive. She gets that from both like my wife and I are sort of competitive within that household. We're not like, we don't like, but yeah, my daughter, she'll want to do it. So this is a good story about this one. This photo 2 years ago, the Muskoka Lakes Snowmobile Club and I, Chris Atkin, we're talking. He's like, listen, we're going to do a trailside barbecue. And I thought that is like the coolest damn thing ever, right? Like to help support the club. So they did this, like they had French fries, they had hamburgers, they had hot dogs, all that stuff, on the trail side. It was amazing. They did such a great job.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah.
And they raised some money for you too?
Well, they helped raise money for us and for them, right? Like they gave a donation to Amiki and stuff like that right after that. So it was really nice.
Right on.
Yeah, it was really
Perfect.
good. Blue Water Snowmobile Club out in King Carden did the same thing. And those poor buggers out there, I think they've only had 2 days, 3 days of trails open in the last 2 years.
Yeah, wow. Yeah. Well, hopefully this is a year that brings it all back, because a lot of these clubs are dying for a day like this that we're seeing in the picture. Groomers there on display. We've got people cooking, the deep fryer going. Looks like they got fish and chips, was it?
Oh, yeah, they had, yeah, that's right. They had fish and chips. They had the hamburgers, hot dogs, like hot chocolate, coffee if you wanted it. It was great. It was funny because the OPP all showed up and all had lunch there. Like they just all pulled up and
that's awesome.
The trail side. It was amazing. It was a great day out on the trail. We did some riding and then we did this big barbecue, and it was a blast. That whole team up there in Muskoka, just top-notch people, man. Like just fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, love it. Love it. This is a great shot overhead. Is this that same event?
Yep. So we did an aerial, got the drone out, and we did some photo ops of that, and yeah, it was really cool. Like it was just a good solid day, and it was so hard because you'd have packs of people coming in, And, they would stick around for a bit, have some lunch, and they would take off, and then a big pack of people would come in. And yeah, it was like just steady all day long. It was great.
Yeah, that's the best part of it all. You can stay as long as you want, or just pop in quick and go, right? So yeah. Master says we need to have a wiener roast at the Sportsman. I agree. We should do an outdoor cookout or something, right?
I think it's a great idea. Let me know when that is.
Yeah, for sure. Well,
I'm pretty good at barbecuing.
That's family day weekend.
I do a lot.
I think we can talk Mike from Ultimax to come again this year too. So
Ashby is awesome. Love that guy.
Yeah. Oh, he's great. So.
Oh yeah, he's a hoot. So this is last year, and there's Jackson, myself, and Jeff, and it was just after the Saturday closed down. And
this is Sledorama. This is Sledorama, is it, or is this Toronto?
This is at Toronto. That was at Toronto.
Oh, cool. Right on.
And I remember we were just like discussing, like we're all talking. This is going to be the year. This is going to be the year, right? And then look what happened, right? So I posted.
So you guys jinxed it.
Yeah, it came up as a memory, and I posted on Facebook, and I tagged Jeff, and he goes, "We're not having that same discussion this year."
Yeah, no kidding, right? Right. Yeah.
And that was last year at the Santa Claus Parade in Midland.
Right on. That looks like more snow than Midland had all winter, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's just smoke from the exhaust of the truck, I guess.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. So you guys are so you have a busy dance card all winter.
Yeah, we really do keep busy. And if I'm not saying if any of the clubs reach out to us and want help supporting whatever they're doing, I'm going to support them. I'm going to help wherever I can, right? Like if we can't make it, or a bunch of us can't make it, we'll still push it on our social media feeds for them and bring lights them. Absolutely. I mean, my big thing is if it wasn't for these volunteers and clubs, we wouldn't have anywhere to ride. So we need to help.
Very true.
Back, right?
Yeah,
that's
true.
A big thing. And this is after.
Do you do any volunteering? Do you do any volunteering on a club level for your local club as well?
I do, but I do more of the back end stuff, meaning for like grants. Like I'll look at grants for people, just because I have that sort of. That's what I do in my professional career, right?
Yeah, right.
So I help in that way. And then, whatever I can do, busy. The weekends are so busy. If I had a free weekend, absolutely, I'd go out and help. And I know most of them know that I would too, right? So. Yeah,
this is kind of your way of giving back, though, to the club events.
Right.
William McCleary says he was in Minden today. He didn't see Santa, though. This looks like it's inside a club grooming shack or something, is it?
No, this is my buddy Mark's garage in Sudbury.
Man, I think I need to become his friend.
Oh, man, this guy is the end all be all. Like, to host, I think there was 27, 30 of us. Him and his wife, Jessica. They just awesome people. Like, just, we met at the Toronto show 2 years ago, and they're just fantastic people. And it's been a great friendship ever since. Last year was tough. Come on up. We had a few days. They whole bunch of us went up there and rode. Just awesome. And Mark does a lot of wrenching too for me. So like he knows how to, if I'm stumped on something, I can always ask Mark. Right. So.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah.
I really thought the size of that garage, that was a snowmobile club groomer shack. Yeah.
Now cool. This photo is out at the Blue Water, the Burvey Community Center. By
cool.
King Hart. And that's Brooke Lippert and Jackson.
Okay,
they
cool.
invited us out there. Yeah. So we did a raffle out there with them, and yeah, it was a great day. Once again, just, when you have people like that, like Brooke, like she's perfect person to have on your team, right? So
That's great. That's great.
Now I was at the Santa Claus
And
parade.
here's another event. Yeah, you look at all the stuff you've done. Like you guys have earned this. You talk about all the accolades you've gotten and other stuff, and it's like you're busy every weekend. You're pounding the pavement for this.
I feel like we need to give back to our sport. I love the sport of snowmobiling, but I also love trying to help each person that I run into each day. And I understand. We've all had bad days and we all struggle at times in our lives. And, it's about helping your brother. It's helping your partner and, and doing those things what you can. Right. So it's cool. Yeah.
Is this Wolf Lookout?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, right on. I was thinking that. Very cool. Now that's a gang too.
Oh yeah, that was, and that was on all of them, right? That wasn't all of them. That was, like there were still people off the side. Like there was a big bunch. Like when we were going up that ride there, God, we went up there. We left Sudbury and we went up there and came back down. And it was just a good day of riding. And all those youngsters, and there was a few in there like last year that could ride legally. They were all troopers through it. They were all troopers through it. That was a big, I think it was a 400 and some odd kilometer day by the time we were done.
That's cool.
Day for a big group like that, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It scared me when we took a big group up to Sudbury because we weren't sure if it was going to be a disaster doing a big miles like that. But everybody had the same mindset, and we had a blast doing it. So one of your buddies popped into the Facebook chat, Pete Moniz.
Nice one.
Redneck Dirty Hands. He says, "Nice one."
He's just the best, that guy. Oh yeah. I actually texted him earlier. It was funny. I texted him earlier and I said, what was I said to him? I said, "You gonna jump on tonight and keep me company?" Or maybe he's like, "Yeah, I'll jump on." Yeah, it was funny. I was sort of nervous, right? And he's So he texted me and said, "I'm coming on, I'll come on." So
he's on the Facebook though. He's not on the YouTube chat stream here.
I know, eh? So this picture here is one that at the end of the day, this was a best friend of mine, Jimmy Purnell. He was a big sled guy. He was a big ski-doo guy. Man, could he make these things rock and roll. He passed away in a snowmobile accident in January of 1998. And, him and another friend of mine, I didn't go with him that night. I went out to a bar or something like that with other people. And that's a tough thing. But, I took a few years off from the riding thing and thought, if he was here, he'd be kicking me in the arse saying, keep going, man. This is something that we all love doing. So just keep her going. So I always, I got a big tattoo of him on my arm here. And,
cool.
I always think of him when I'm riding. He's a big part of where I am today with the riding, because he was a person that would give the shirt off his own back to anyone in need. I mean, I can numerous stories where, homeless people sitting on the side of the road or sitting up against a building where downtown or we're in Barrie or wherever it was. And he would never necessarily just go give them, $10 or $5 or whatever it was. He'd walk in and grab them a coffee and a bagel, or he'd grab them a Subway sandwich or, something like that. Right. So yeah, I go back to that giving part. And I believe that's, if he was around today, he would be one of the big spearheaders of this Sledheads for Kids for sure. It was definitely.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And he was fast.
Right on.
He could make that I think it was a 94, that one. That was the last year of that. Is it the PRS chassis?
Yeah, it does look like a PRS,
Yeah.
actually. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was last year, and I know when he bought that thing, man, that thing rocked and rolled. Oh God.
Yeah,
That
those
thing.
are insane when they came out, man. Like, to think about, like, that was probably a 521 maybe in that thing, was it?
No, that one actually
It wouldn't have been a huge.
670.
That's a 670. So yeah, that might have been an S chassis then. Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah. So like, but still, that was a huge engine for the time. Think of now you got an 858 sitting in your garage, right? Like, yeah.
So it's and that was him on his Plus.
Yeah, the pluses were insane too.
Yeah. It was a beautiful sled too. Like, God, that red. I was never a big red guy, but like, I remember looking back at those Pluses. I mean, God, that's a sexy looking sled, eh?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Red, and all red too, right? They had them red before that, but they weren't like this line here. Yeah.
That was
cool.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. There. Yeah, that's an S chassis 670. Yeah.
That man.
Sweet.
Boy, oh boy, could he I don't know where he found the power on those things, or what he would never let anyone know what he was doing when it came to clutching, eh? Like, never. You walk into that garage,
that's funny.
Those clutches were always off that thing. Yeah. But he made him boogie for sure.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah, that's a great shot there, man. Right out of a magazine.
Yeah. Yeah. He was a weapon. He was just an awesome guy. Yeah. Missed dearly.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
I bet. Well, this is the best part, is the memories, right? They never die.
No, that's for sure.
Yeah. So
this was another, can't remember. This was Cochrane. Right. There's another bunch of us.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, we always have a big crowd when we're riding. It's fun.
That's good.
Yeah. There's that F7. My God.
You and Jackson. Yeah. So you had it recently then, right?
I just got rid of it a couple years ago.
Yeah. Because Jackson looks like he's maybe 9 there.
Yeah.
It
was terrible. Just
did he build that snowman in the background there?
No, that was our right across from our neighbors right across the road there.
Oh, cool.
He may have helped with the kids across the street there and did it. Yeah.
Yeah. Right on.
Yeah.
Yeah, he probably wish he could have the F7 now too.
Oh, yeah. But that's that barbecue there, in Muskoka.
Yeah, right on. That's a better shot of it for sure.
Yeah.
Look at all the money in the jars behind me here.
Oh yeah,
right
they did a great job. I know they raised quite a bit of money for their club there for sure. It was good.
Yeah, wicked. I love the cookers are all on little skis and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, very cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I know I had to go back there, I think once back. The Chris Cottage wasn't too far from there. I remember we had to go back there. I think we had to get a propane tank or something like that. But yeah, it was a good day. It was really nice to see everyone that was able to stop by and have a barbecue and have a Coke or whatever, right? And hamburgers.
Yeah.
Whatever. It was a lot of fun. A lot of kids, a lot of families that were there too. So
yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's the man.
Yeah, cool. So this was for last year, October 12th. Oh no, this is the ATV one. Yeah, cool.
That's the one he just finished. I mean, at the end of the day, man, oh man, he did a great job. He did a fantastic job for his age, and he didn't sleep the night before that. He didn't sleep. Nah. Like when
that can't help.
Yeah, when he finally finished, he had the little nap and stuff like that. But when he got home, like 18 hours he slept for. Right? So
yeah, and I don't care how comfortable the ATV is. It's not going to be comfortable after doing that many laps. That's for sure.
No.
and you're just going around and around and around. You just shut your brain off and let her go, right?
That's it. That's what I said to him every time he came. I said, if you need a break, take a break. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's fine, right? So
Yeah. Very cool.
And
we talked about Amici.
Yeah, there is. That is they're fantastic people there. They do such great work. And they do such great work with all different, different camps across the province. They have relationships with, the gearheads that do the biking, and then there's the canoe heads, and it's a fantastic organization. If you're Googling it, give them a Google, give them a read. They've been around from 1952 or 57 or something. So they've been around a long time. Yeah.
Pete says a young lad did a good job. Grinner and Pinner. Yeah.
I think his message to me before the event was take a zip tie and hold her to the bar.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah.
For sure. Pete said, that was good. It was good. And that's our full tilt cross country series. Nice. Yep. We're really excited about that. We'll have more details at the Toronto show. So make sure anyone stop by the booth. We'll have more details there. It's going to be really exciting. We're just doing the one race this year because we really want to make sure we capture what we need to go forward. We do have other venues lined up for the next year, but we want to take this year, learn from this event, take everyone's, the good, the bad, because it's something different up here, right? So it'll be very interesting. It's like a GP style track, 5 miles in length. That's what I'll tell you. So you can go on Facebook. Is that the maps that you sent me coming up? Yeah. Yes. Okay. So we're going to look at those. Corey asked where the cross country race is being held. So we're going to see that. Yeah. Mike says amiki means friends in Italian. If you didn't know that. I did not know that. And Massart shares some wisdom here. He says, put a catheter in a 5-gallon pail underneath when you're on that ATV, and away you go. Right? Yeah, so we'll get into the events and tracks coming up right here. And Right Thumb Mafia, is that your hashtag? That's Jackson. Cool. That's another one that's blowing up. And so we started another Facebook page, and that's his ice cream business. Oh, is it really? Cool. So right on. Remember those? Remember the Dickie D bikes? Yeah. The ice cream bikes. He bought one. Oh, so cool. That's what he does in the summer. Right on. That'll help him train too, right? Yeah. As long as he doesn't sample too much of the product, he's figured out he doesn't make as much money biking around as when he does events. So now he's figured out, I'll do more. I make more money going to the event, so I'll do that, and I'll go to the events, right? So right on. He's got more time, but it's all good. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, learning about business and that kind of thing. So here we go. Here's one of the cross country tracks, right? Yeah. So this is a friends of mine down at the New England cross country series. TJ Leach, he sent me that. That's one of the tracks so our track will be on Lake Couchiching, very similar to this. That's a 5-mile track. And we'll do basically similar to that on Lake Couch. Oh, cool. Yeah. So how do you keep people? So what's between the tracks where the corners, where it doubles back on it? It'll all be staked. There will be bank corners at some of the corners. Cool. Yeah. So our layout's gonna be a little bit different, as once we get some ice out there, we can get out there and do more of it. But we are going to have the front straightaway is going to be approximately 800 to 900 meters. The one straightaway down the front. Cool. Yeah. But that gives you an idea of what the GP style track's going to be like for it. And I think it's going to be really exciting. It's going to be something different, right? My big thing is this is a great opportunity for, the weekend warriors that want to race, and, it's not going to cost them a fortune, to go out race. It'll be an event, we'll be safe. We'll have we have the paramedics on site. We'll have all the proper insurance. We have all that stuff in place. This is going to be another opportunity for guys to build something different. And maybe on top of the oval stuff, right? You won't see many oval guys racing this, but they might build a sled to race in this, right? So
yeah.
I reached out to Joe, the new owner of the CSRA, and said, Joe, I don't want to step on anyone's toes. And he's like, no, I appreciate that. I said, what's your bye week like that you don't have a race here in Ontario? Because I don't want to take from you. I want to work with you. And he's like, oh, I love that, because he wants his kids to run in this too. So it's a great opportunity to work together, right? Not against each other. So what
was the date of this?
This is February 7th, 8th, and 9th at Rama.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, perfect. At Rama. Yeah, just before the Sportsman's Lodge weekend, Mike Gleitz was asking the Motorsport channel. So, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. It'll be fun.
Yeah,
now, this is a big track.
Cool.
So this one here is, because we're trying to beat an existing record, the track has to be a certain length, right? From the Muskoka boys, like that said it last time. So we've designed our track basically the same way they did theirs. It's 8.05 kilometers in one way. So from A to B, B to A, that'll give you your 16.10 kilometers, which is exactly 10 miles. So that'll be exactly 10 miles track. Yeah.
Right.
That's for the team. Yeah. The men's team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. There's Santa on the Ultimate sled. Yep. Love it.
Yeah.
Man, you've got a real in with Santa Claus. I should send you my list, I think, this year, because he doesn't listen last year.
I know. Yeah, no, and there's the.
I love this wrap is neat. The ghost white.
Oh, this is the guys up in Barrie at Ink My Ride.
Yeah.
Ink Your Ride, sorry. Man, oh man, they blew this one to the water. Like just.
Yeah, looks good.
So what we're doing with this is, because this is the sled that Jackson's making his attempt on. The reason we went with white is, so for a donation, we have paint markers at the Toronto show. You get to sign the sled with where you're from, and the donations are all sent back to Amiki.
Cool. That's awesome. Save me a good spot.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's something that's engaging, and it'll be fun to see once it's all everyone who signs on it. And
is that a signature on the rail there, or not the rail, but the actual foot where it goes up to the tunnel right there? That's their
logo.
Is it okay?
You're right. Yeah.
Okay, no problem. It looked like a signature there, but that's very cool. I love that.
Yeah. It really, really, to see it in the photo looks fantastic, but to see it, I was like, whoa, like, man, oh man, did you guys ever make this thing look like gorgeous?
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. There's another view of it there.
Yeah.
I like that. So this looks like he's getting hugs from everybody.
He just finished.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. Ready to lay down, probably, right?
I know he did. Yeah, I think we were.
Yeah,
yeah. I think we were all done. We're like, oh God, let's get home and get to bed. Yeah,
I gotcha. There he is. There, one last pose.
Yeah, there
he's got his walking cast on, for crying out loud.
Yeah. Hey.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was. We didn't want to say anything because we didn't he broke his foot, like I said the week before, and we were like, are we bad parents if we make him do it? But we didn't make him do it. If he had said I can't do it because my foot's broken, we would have just postponed it, right? But
yeah,
he's like, no, we have gone 2 winners and we haven't been able to kick off our event. We're doing it. I'm like, are you sure? And he's like, honestly, Dad, my foot's not that bad. It's not like it's like painful and all that stuff. You know, it's a fractured
Well,
foot.
you're not shifting gears. You're not shifting
right.
gears with it or anything like that. Like you're just sitting there, really.
Yeah.
So you know,
he says, let's go. We're going for it. And that's what he did. By the end of it, he's like, the vibration of my foot is a little sore now. So he was just like, sitting for so long. And I think everything was just so sore. Right. So,
yeah, that's wicked.
Yeah.
Man, what a trooper.
Yeah. I think he was thinking twice. What did I just do?
But he wants to do it again next year. Right?
Oh, I think that was at a point where Tyler Latimer, a good friend of ours, they do the snowcross racing. He had made a big bunch of smoked ribs, and Jackson was like waiting for a couple of those. It was good.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Anything he'd do differently next time if he was to do this again, aside from not breaking his foot?
Well, he did say what he plans on doing for the snowmobile event is, now that he knows what's sort of involved, he feels like he'll be able to have a good rest before the next one, right? So before the snowmobile event, I think the rest will help him throughout it. And he loves the cold, right? He runs hot, that kid. He's like, in the wintertime, he's always in the house with a pair of shorts on. He runs hot. So
yeah, right.
He says, next time I know what to expect. So I think I'll be at a little more ease, and it'll be good. It'll be fine. So yeah,
that's perfect. I know you mentioned it, but if you want to cover it again, Alternating TV says, what machine is he on with the bead
that's
locks?
a 2023 CF Moto 400, C-Force 400.
Yeah, and those are Bullite rims.
Yeah, Bullite rims. Beautiful. Like they're the nicest looking rims I've ever seen on an ATV. They're gorgeous, man.
Yeah, they look sick. And it really matches the bike. The tires are awesome too. I like the tread pattern on those.
We didn't want to go with anything too aggressive that would cause a lot of vibration. So it was more like an all, and honestly, like Jeremy at JT's pulled those from out west, had them overnight it to us. Like, just, that's what I mean. Like, everyone that just sort of pulled together to make sure everything went off, right? So it was great.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah.
The Rock 95 sticker, did they cover him on that? Yeah. Did they actually do a little interview with it? Right on.
Yeah, they did live on location, and then Jackson did Pure Country 106 radio station with Jason McCoy and Carrie Moran.
Cool.
They did their show.
Very cool.
It's good. Yeah, they were making fun of him with the well, they weren't making fun of him. They were just like, I can't believe you did with a broken foot. Like,
exactly. The doctor was listening, going, he did what?
The doctor did one of these.
Yeah, that's right. I know nothing.
Yeah. What kind of parents are you? Yeah. And that's him. He was I think he was doing a mileage check, an average speed check there. He was more concerned about keeping that consistency. It was funny. He was doing a really good job of that, and he was really on target. Like, at one point, he was on target for 1,200 kilometers.
Right on.
Like, right up until like 2 o'clock in the morning, he was still on target for like 1,180 kilometers. And then he just, that's when the black dog bit him, right? Like that, the nighttime just hit him.
Yeah.
But it's okay.
But you know what? And when you're injured too, you're not 100%. He's not firing on all cylinders, that kind of thing. So I think it's awesome what he's done. He's, for being so young and everything. I know some adults have tried it, and it's easy for adults. We know what we're getting into. He just, like he said, he just got the ATV. You're on a new ATV, new tires, new wheels, everything's new.
So he had 40 kilometers on the machine, and when we put the wheels on, he had maybe like 4 kilometers on it with the new wheels and tires, and went right at it. That was it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. And then we got a letter on screen from Doug Ford, the Premier of Ontario.
I got that.
Says events like this. Yeah, this is great. Events like this bring our communities together, demonstrating the power of unity and generosity. I wish Jackson the best of luck in his world record attempt and look forward to seeing the continued success of your future events. That's awesome.
Yeah, I got this email and it's like, who's this from? And it said something about Premier something. I'm like, oh, it's like this. I opened it up and there was this letter, and it was like, wow, that's pretty cool. So yeah, I was pretty excited. So we post that because it was awesome, you know, and it was nice that you know, to see that even at that level, the acknowledgement of what we're doing, right? Because I know Doug Ford's a snowmobiler himself too, right? So it's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yep, for sure. He's got a side-by-side as well. We just seen him in it on the weekend, actually. Yeah. We there's a trail goes right by his place, so we run into him all the time.
Yeah, I know I was at because of my career, I met him at an OGRA conference, and we talked snowmobiling, and then he's like, yeah, I didn't get to go out last year. This job just takes up too much time. But he laughed about it, and he's like, you know, but hopefully we'll get a better winter here soon. So yeah, it was nice. But to like get this in the mail or as an email, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's very cool. Yeah, I like it. Like I said, love the guy or hate the guy. It doesn't matter. He take him outside of it. It's still the sport, right? That Ford gets.
Well, that's what I mean is I like that where people are acknowledging that our efforts are to better the sport in all, right? Like that's what our goal is, right? To help.
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
Clubs
for sure.
And good. And yeah, so there he is booting by. He must have a second wind, I think he did there.
Yeah. And he's got all the safety gear on too. You got you got a chest protector and everything. Yeah. So that's very cool. Nice to see the safety being practiced.
Yeah.
For sure. That's a Bonsai Images took this shot. It's good photo of him.
I'll tell you, Andre is awesome. That guy is hilarious, man.
Yeah, cool. 741.2 kilometers in 24 hours.
Yep.
That's great. Great accomplishment.
Yeah, he did a great lot. He did a good job. That's awesome.
Yeah, love that. No, good work for your whole team. That's amazing. It's say what you want. It takes a village, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You guys have done an amazing job. Give a shout out to how do people how do people follow you on social media? If you want to type your channel in there, I'll put it up on screen. Sure. And your website address too. Do them in two separate, and I'll just flash them up there. And that's a good job, Josh. Chris Watson says, and I've got a lot of people have actually checked out, but great show. Thanks for getting everyone excited for the season. Benjamin Flint says, outdoor hobby guy. He left a while ago. He said it was a great show.
That's good.
Yeah.
I think.
Mike Galit says, cool show.
Well, I appreciate everyone. For some reason, this made me because I'm on my work laptop because my.
Oh, you didn't. Okay, no problem. What is your Facebook channel?
It's Team S4K Racing, Sledheads for Kids.
Is it all one word?
No, just Team S4K Racing. It'll as soon as you put that in, it comes up, and it'll come up.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Yeah, and then our Instagram is Sledheads for Kids.
Oh, right on, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And then our website's all on there too. Yeah.
Great. Well, no, thanks for your time tonight. I really appreciate you coming on, kicking off season 5 for us and on some short notice and making it a great event. Great night tonight.
thank you so much. And I honestly, I enjoyed myself. I hope no one got bored of me. So that was the one thing I was like, I don't want to talk too much, but no, it was great. And, you know, I look forward to the rest of the season, and we will definitely have to do a ride.
Yeah, that's great. Yep. Good night. Thanks to some great videos and everything from Chris Watson. That's great. Chris is not bored at all. I wasn't either. It's great. I was tired coming in and you kept me up. You kept it engaging. So no, thanks again. Everybody make sure you hit that like button before you leave, and away we go. So, and Lepoinski says you'll see us on Sunday. So I'll see him on Sunday too. And I'll make sure I pop by before I get cornered in the Koala Pieces booth for the day, and away we go. So yeah,
we'll see you all on the weekend. Don't forget to come and say hi. And
we will. We'll make sure we do it. Save me a spot to sign on that sled, and I'll bring some cash for donations for you. But we're gonna get going right now.
All right.
Thanks again, Josh.
Thanks.
Yep.
It's a journey for